Good evening and welcome to Facebook Live session, Just the Facts with Dr. Pavitra Venkatagopalan, a session to demystify the facts about coronavirus. For this session, I have with me Dr. Pavitra Venkatagopalan. She is a microbiologist and a coronavirologist by training and director at Care Health Diagnostic Lab by profession. She completed her PhD on coronavirus from Arizona State University. Good evening, doctor.
Hi, Shiva. Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for joining us today and welcome to Gurgaon Mom's Facebook Live.
Thank you.
Doctor, we have a lot of questions regarding COVID, so I'm going to start right away. Before we start, just curious to know, your profile says you've completed PhD on coronavirus from Arizona State University, whereas we're all hearing COVID the first time during this epidemic. So can you just give us a brief about what your studies was, whether this was known to the world before?
Oh, I love this question because one old man, he was like, how did you get a PhD in 1 year? In 8 months, how did you finish? I was like, just because you didn't know about coronavirus doesn't mean it didn't exist. Coronaviruses have always existed and it was discovered in the 1960s.
Okay.
It's actually a well-known family of viruses. It's well studied. There is for every animal that's there is a coronavirus that infects it. Dog, cat, pig, cow, turkey, all of them have a coronavirus that infects it. The first human coronavirus was discovered in the 1960s. And we know that 1 in 3 common colds is actually caused by a coronavirus.
Okay.
So it's a very well-known, well-studied family of viruses, of which this is a brand new virus.
Okay. COVID is a brand new one.
Yes. The virus is actually called SARS coronavirus 2. The infection that it causes is called COVID-19. See, coronavirus infectious disease 19.
Okay. Thank you so much. For today's session, Doctor, I have segregated the questions in 3, broad headings, like the precautions, and then during the infection period, and of course, vaccination. So I'll start with precautions. The first and foremost and most asked in the community also, fresh fruits and vegetables cleaning. Is it still required? Does it spread?
It was never required.
Okay.
It was never required in the sense that, see, you always wash your vegetables when you bring it home. Right? Yeah. It's not like you kept them dirty in your kitchen or in your fridge. You always wash them. That is sufficient. People are like, oh, I keep it outside for 24 hours. I soak it in peroxide. I'm like, why are you doing all this?
Okay, so that is not
peroxide, permanganate. It's not needed.
Okay.
The chance of the virus transmitting from an object to you is less than 1,000 times the chance with which it can travel to you directly by droplets. Okay. So the effort is not worth the risk. Okay. I've never extra washed a grocery or anything like that.
Okay. So is it same for courier packets also?
Yeah.
Because I know people who even clean the medicine strips as soon as they get it. So that much is not required.
Never was.
Okay. Thank you. Next is using or touching the lift buttons. Should we wear gloves or use toothpicks? What about doorknobs in common spaces? Because some of these are what we're all paranoid about.
Yeah, some of these you have to be a little bit careful. The funny thing is, before COVID came, I never used to touch lift doors. I'd open doors with my elbows, with my wrists, or I'd hit the lift elevator button with my elbows or with my knuckle, because I was never scared. I didn't know about COVID, but you don't know what the other person has touched. Okay. They're always like, you should paranoid, you should believe your immunity. I'm like, no, infectious disease is infectious disease. So those things you kind of have to be a little careful about. I hope you always have been, because your fingertips touch your face up to 60 times a minute. You don't realize it.
Okay.
right? 60 times an hour, sorry. So when you touch something, let's say I have spoken and there is a droplet on that lift button, and you touch it and touch your face, there is a chance that you can get infected. So just use your elbow or something like that.
Okay.
Not just here, all at
All
all
the time.
times.
It's just not
At all
during
times,
COVID.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But you have knuckles. See, the problem is the fingertips. You're never going to touch your face with your knuckle. Use your knuckles. Back of your hands, they work very well.
Okay. Okay. The next one is what are the precautions to be taken by a non-COVID person while helping a COVID positive person? Now, it also happened in our community that, we came across a couple of women who were living alone and they were COVID positive, but then they needed help when they didn't respond to a call or a doorbell. Somebody has to go in and see whether they are fine. So in that moment, all of us were wondering how to do that. I mean, what precautions does the non-COVID person take?
See, with the virus around us, my assumption is everybody has COVID. I don't react to someone knowing their COVID status. My assumption is they have COVID. If
Okay.
even I met in person, I would still behave like you had COVID. You should behave like I had COVID. So what would you do? Wear a mask that covers your nose and mouth, for sure. And if you know that person does have COVID, wearing an extra mask on top just adds to your security.
Okay. Okay. So when to use face shields?
Face shields are not great, especially if you use face shields by themselves. They do nothing. There have been studies that say they do nothing. Face shield does help in terms of bringing your breath down rather than just out like this.
Okay.
So if you wear
So
a
it is
mask,
more protective for the other person.
for
like
the other person, yeah.
Okay. Okay. I don't spread it to others.
Yeah.
Now coming to masking, doctor. So now is double mask essential during the second wave that has been emphasized a lot?
Yes. So we just see, we know even a single mask helps. A double mask just helps better.
Okay.
So that's really it.
Okay. So what is the right mask for air travel? Somebody is traveling.
The right mask for air travel would be either an N95 that is fitting them well.
Okay.
N95s are made to fit your face, nose, and jaw. You can't buy it off the pharmacy and wear it and hope it will protect you. So this is where it becomes tricky. Not everybody can get a well-fitted N95. So you wear a surgical mask and then a cloth mask on top.
Okay. So if it is an N95 mask, it has to fit well. And it has a valve, so there was some.
So the masks with valves are not for bioprotection. The masks with valves do nothing to protect the person next to you. You will not get anything, but you might give them something, and that's still pretty bad. A lot of people are like, oh, I wear it because some air, it feels cooler. I'm like, yeah, it feels cooler because there is air exchange. You don't want that. Masks with valves are not recommended for biosafety. They are only used for people that work with like high spray paints and things like that.
Okay, okay. So when I go to a vaccination center, sometimes there is crowd, though there is social distancing. So still the double masks is enough for me to protect myself,
Yes.
or is there
a double mask covering your nose and mouth? There are synthetic masks that only come till here. That doesn't do anything. You have to cover from here all the way till here.
Okay, so
a double mask gives you the maximum protection for yourself.
Okay. When is a PPE suit needed? Is it needed at all?
If you're in a COVID ward, you're a frontline healthcare worker working in a COVID ward, you need all that.
Okay. Otherwise, when I'm at home or going for a vaccination or even visiting a hospital for emergency, I don't have to wear it.
You don't need it.
Okay. The other popular thing that has been going on since the first wave, doctor, gargling, steam inhalation, and taking kara as a precautionary measure. Does this help?
No, it does nothing. It does absolutely nothing. Zero. Zero
None
is all
of
it
this.
does.
All three.
None of them helps you prevent COVID. None of them help you treat COVID. What it does do is, if you have a congestion, taking these relieves the symptoms for a short time. The symptom will come back.
Okay.
Okay. None of these helps you at all. This masking, the steam inhaling,
Gargling, yeah.
gargling, is like, why? They do nothing.
Okay. Is it safe to order food?
Yeah,
from
I've
the-
been ordering ever since the first lockdown allowed us to Swiggy. Yeah.
So is there any other precaution that we do? We get the food packets and then heat it and then
Nothing. It
Nothing.
doesn't, see, the chance of it transmitting via food is very, 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 very low.
no, it's the boxes. Nothing
Yeah,
has to be
wouldn't you always wash your hands after handling the box?
yes.
Exactly.
Nothing,
So
nothing more is required.
no, nothing. Maybe I've always been very sensitive to microbial infections. So I always remove the outer package, throw it and wash my hands before I touch the food. That's all, right? We all wash our hands before we touch the food. Our culture teaches us that. We seem to have forgotten this and we're overcomplicating this.
Okay. Especially during the second wave, doctor, there is also a theory that it is COVID infection is airborne. So a couple of questions that I want to ask on this is, do we have to wear mask when we go to the balcony? Because in condominiums, we are seeing that a full block or the houses, in continuous flows in the same side of the block or full families are affected. So there are two questions that comes out of this. One is that do we have to wear masks when we go to the balconies? And the other one is, does it spread through toilets or drains in the same block in the condominium?
It doesn't spread through toilets or drains. I will answer this and then go back to the previous question. If there was bacteria or viruses spreading through the toilets and drains, let me get very gross here. You're saying the shit water from the top floor is coming through all your apartment and going down. You will be getting more infections than just COVID.
No, there is also this that the flush tank, not the flush tank, the pipe, the water stays for some time. So when you flush for the first time, close it and flush, or it comes up when it first done. So the house.
So if this was the case, wouldn't you be having a whole lot of other infections? Have you had any sort of food related or like any sort of loose motion from regularly using your toilet?
Not
No. So same here. It's not spreading through your toilet at all. Now coming to the balcony issue, see, I don't know how much space there is between the different balconies, right? So right now, one of the studies is saying it can travel in air for up to 10 meters, that's 30 feet. So maybe if someone in your apartment complex is positive, encourage them not to go to the balcony, or until everyone tests negative, you don't go to the balcony.
Okay. That's good. So there are many members who have joined this session and they've already started posting questions. Manisha Lokesh Sinha wants to know, can a mother feeding 11 months child go for vaccination?
Yes, I had a 4-month-old when I took the vaccine. Even the only couple of 2-3 days back, the Ministry of Health has said lactating mothers can get the vaccine. I got it even earlier without telling them because I didn't want to get COVID. It scares the crap out of me. I didn't want to get COVID. And second, even a COVID positive mother is allowed to breastfeed. Why not a vaccinated mother, right? And point number 3, the best case scenario, I take the vaccine, I develop antibodies in my body, I give it to the baby. That's awesome. Worst case scenario, I take the vaccine, I develop antibodies, I don't give it to the baby. As in, it doesn't come to the baby through breast milk. Worst case scenario. Either way, I'm fine.
Okay, so that another question, like we mentioned, Kabira Chopra Khanna want to know. I was reading that the baby can get antibodies through mother's breast milk if vaccinated. Is it true? Is it safe? So you said it.
Yes, this is the precise reason breast milk is considered liquid gold. Whatever infection that we might have, we make antibodies. It comes through the breast milk to the baby. This is precisely why we breastfeed. A lot of mothers are like, should I wean the baby? Should I pump and dump? I'm like, no. You are taking the vaccine now to protect you and the baby. Please take it.
Okay. So I will move on to the infection period. So the first question from in that is, how long is one contagious with coronavirus?
The average is 14 days, 1/4. Okay. Some people are less than that, some people are more than that. So the average is 14 days.
So after 14 days, maybe on the 15th or 16th day, I can go and meet that person?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that is another inhibition that many of us have, when to go and meet them. Can we ever meet them? You know, and-
Don't meet anybody now
okay.
because 14 is still the average.
Okay. Okay.
14 is still the average. If they need help, offer from a distance.
Okay. And
If you
of
want
course,
to-
all the protocols, the social
Yeah,
distancing
if
and
you want to
masking.
hang out with them, hang out in an open space with a good 30 feet apart. Now that we know it travels for 30 feet.
Mm. So, Kanmani Patil wants to ask you on the toilets theory that you were saying. She says, if it's not going through pipes and toilets, etc., why are there cases happening from one flat to the other in the same building? What's the reason for this spread? Like if there is E block,
Crossover in the lift, crossover in the staircase. Maybe if the balconies are close by crossover like that, it's not happening through your toilet.
Okay. So Uma Nathani wants to know which vaccine is better between Covaxin and Covishield.
They are both great. So if you're really having a doubt, look for the app near you and see which vaccine comes up first. Whichever one comes up, that's the best for you.
If all family members are COVID positive, do they have to be in a separate room?
No,
This
they
is another
can
confusion.
all quarantine together.
Okay, so it's not required that depending on the virus load that each one has to be in a different
No.
doesn't make any sense. Okay. Should COVID positive patients use only disposable cutlery?
Not necessarily. If they can wash it. If you have a bathroom with water and soap, you can wash it and reuse it. It's not.
That's more than enough, doctor.
That's more than enough.
Okay.
See, this virus is very fragile. Washing it with soap and water kills it.
Okay. And
So
who knows better than you, because you have done a research, you've studied it for 6 years. So I think that you're the best to say that. So Sherebanu wants to know, could you help us with SOPs for allowing domestic help? Yeah, this is some query that keeps coming in the community also. A lot of confusions about
so domestic help. I feel both ways about it. We all need them. We're all lucky to have them. But there is this belief that, oh, we'll get COVID from the domestic help. Most likely not. They probably had it from their slum area and they're okay also. You might be the one that might be giving them something. So
yes, that is also possible.
the same rules work. Masking and distancing. If your domestic, like my cousin is pregnant, so she is having the household help lady come and do the work. So when the lady is doing the work, my cousin will go sit in one room. The lady will wear the mask, my cousin will wear the mask. The lady will finish all the work and leave. My cousin will go and like the lady will have opened out all the windows. And once this lady leaves, my cousin will go close all the windows and then settle down normally in the house. They don't talk like to give the akka makes her own coffee and tea and has it. You know, whatever food she wants, she finishes eating. They have no direct interaction. So the basics work. There is no SOP. The SOP is basically just masking and
well and social distancing. So Girija wants to know, when the COVID infected person after a month took antibodies test, the result of antibody count was 0.65. What does this mean and when to have the vaccine?
So don't look at the numbers. So 0.61 would mean, and then on one more column in that lab report, it will say so much is positive, so much is negative. So I don't know what that lab report says. I also have to look at that to interpret. As of now, the mandate is if you are infected 3 months after that, you can take the vaccine.
So do they have to go for any test before that?
Nothing.
To check the antibodies and all? Not required. I just go by the date.
Yeah, 3 months, go get the vaccine.
Okay. Kanmani Patil wants to know, even if different kinds of symptoms, if all of the members of the family are positive with different kinds of symptoms, they can hang around together at home?
They can. There is no telling how the virus will react in your body. You and I are different. You and I are different variants of the same human. So there is no way to tell how the virus will react in you versus how the virus will react in you. Everybody can hang out together.
And everybody is COVID positive. I may not again infect or give you more severe because I have a severe load. Nothing like that. Okay. Which are the surfaces and objects used by COVID patients that get contaminated, doctor? Toothbrush, mobile
surface. Any solid surface needs to be wiped down. Your Lysol usual, how you clean the house with Lysol and water. You clean it like that, maybe twice. All the laundry gets done. All the clothes get washed in hot water if possible.
Clothes to be washed in hot water.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is the only precaution. Nothing else. No other extra care is required.
A lot of companies say we will come and sanitize your house post-COVID.
That's another question.
Not needed. But
What
it may
about pillows, bed, and all?
it's not going to seep in and live in the under that surface. It's going to be on that outer surface only. So it's not. See, the virus also, all viruses, they can't grow outside the body. And COVID is actually very fragile in the sense that if there is no moisture, it will die entirely. So
Okay.
its survival on different surfaces is actually very poor.
Okay. Ailita Pooja wants to know, me and my family haven't got out of the house since 9th April, but me and husband were positive on 29th April. Don't understand where we got it from. I live in a condominium.
It could be simply a matter of like only yesterday we found out that it can travel up to 10 meters by air. So I don't know what kind of distancing there is, what kind of interactions there could have been. So it is scary.
Sometimes it's a mystery. Many of them keep posting the community also. Like, I've never stepped out, but I don't know how I got it. So I think better we keep masking well, even if we just go to the outside of the house, in the corridors. Yeah, that's better. Yeah. Shefali Himanshu wants to know, I've just recovered from COVID. When can I get vaccinated? I think you just finished saying that it's 3 months.
3 months.
So 3 months from the date of the 14th day, doctor? Or from
3
the
months
day
from the day I think you test positive.
Okay. Shika Dogra wants to know, my husband had recovered from COVID today. Today is 21st day. His CT value last week was 33.5. Now 1 week ahead, can we travel with him to our hometown? Is it safe for me and my 3-year-old baby as he is still isolated?
He's one of the rare cases who has the virus for a little bit longer. In another week, you all should be safe to travel.
So they do the test again, or they just
not necessary?
Not necessary.
Because for some reason, we sometimes get PCR positive for these patients over and over again, but they don't seem to be spreading the virus.
Okay, so after 14 days, they don't spread it, even if they...
So generally, the average is 14 days, but some people like Shika's husband may be carriers for a longer time.
Okay. So they have to still be isolated, doctor? That is what...
So if the person tests positive on the 15th day, doctor simply isolate for another 10 days and just move on.
Okay. Shefali Himanshu wants to know, I have a 5-month-old baby. My entire family was COVID positive. So was my child who was positive. How do I know if he recovered properly?
Shefali, that must have been a very tough time for you, having a 5-month-old with everybody in the house testing COVID positive. I can imagine the stress. See, it is assumed that if the mother tests COVID positive, the baby also tests COVID positive. We don't recommend testing the baby. If your baby is doing fine, then your baby is fine. That's all.
Okay. The other main worry now is black fungus, doctor. Does it affect all COVID patients or who are more vulnerable? Can you?
See, black fungus is caused by fungal spores. That's all around us. It's around you. It's around me right now. But what happens when a patient has COVID is they have to take oxygen. That oxygen is not dry. It comes with some humidity.
Okay.
This is the ideal condition for this fungus to grow. So when you're exposed to it for that amount of oxygen for a long time, it finds a direct path into your body. Okay. And then your lung tissue, your nasal tissue are all already injured from COVID. Basically, the virus will go and destroy your cells if you look at it under a microscope. Okay. So the cells are injured. So its immunity is low. So it's easier to get hurt again. You understand what I mean, right? So it's easy for this black fungus to set up home there. And number 3, if you're diabetic, then you are at higher risk for getting this black fungus because your immunity is already low.
Okay. So it's mainly for those who have had oxygen support?
Generally, yes.
Generally. Okay. So if somebody has not had an oxygen support, but they are still diabetic and have been a COVID patient, it's not necessary.
The risk is much lower.
Much lower.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other theory that has been coming and we have been reading is about some blood group which is more vulnerable and severe. Is there any signs or?
So if you read 4 news channels, one will say O positive is the safest, one will say
Yes,
A is the safest,
yes.
one is the B is the safest, one will say AB is the safest.
Yes.
So you
All
know the
are
answer. There is no right answer. Your blood group does not play a role in your ability to fall sick with COVID.
Okay. I'm just enjoying this conversation, Doctor. It makes us, and it gives us so much hope. All these things that we have been reading, and then now there's someone who can clarify. It's amazing.
That's the problem. That's how I started. I mean, there's so much WhatsApp rubbish that goes on, and I always call these WhatsApp uncles. They'll come up with their own theory and send it. My dad is one of them. That's why I make fun of it. So I yelled at my
Is
dad
he
saying,
watching this?
no, but he's watched enough of it. He'll be like, "Enna thittinde irupeni, na varamaten." So that's how it started. Came up with some theory, and I said, "What rubbish? How do you even know what you're talking about? You're an engineer." He's like, "How do you know?" I said, "This is what I have a PhD in." I was like, "So well, you know your daughter." So that's how it started. That's how I started talking to people, and then now I'm talking to you guys 1 year
It's
later.
amazing. Aparna Arora asks, how will I know that I've recovered fully from COVID? It has been 1 month now.
Aparna, as long as you test negative, COVID has left your body. But recovery is a long time. You have to equate it to, let's say you have a fracture. I'm not saying you should, but let's say you have a fracture. You go to a hospital, they do the surgery, they set it and send you back home. That's all is happening after that 14 days. They've sent you back home. Meaning the fracture is fixed, meaning COVID has left you. Have you recovered? Not yet. It'll take months. It might take months. It might take days. You just have to wait and see. I get this call frequently. Especially all these gym going guys are like, 15th day, I'm still having breathlessness. I'm like, calm down. You had an infection. Your body went through a lot. Give it that time to recover.
Okay. Anjana Oja's question, I think this many of them have in mind, is one safe for a few months after recovering from COVID? Because
Anjana,
the antibodies build up, so.
We probably are for about 3 months. That's why the vaccination says take it at 3 months.
Aparna Arora again asks, does inhaler of Butacort also cause black fungus? Because
I'm not a medical doctor, so I cannot answer this question. Have they been having this inhalation long before? I don't know. I don't think there is any other evidence that taking any of these inhalers is causing a black fungus infection.
Okay. I'll move on to vaccination patients, doctor. First one is, can I get COVID from vaccine? Many in our community.
No, you cannot. You absolutely
say,
cannot get COVID from the vaccine. Next question will be, but I took the vaccine and got COVID. Like, no. One happened after another. One did not happen because of another. I'll tell you why. Because people are like, including my own in-laws, if they're watching, they'll also yell at me. They took the vaccine and then same evening they went and saw some people. I was like, what's wrong with you? Why are you going? No, we took the vaccine. The vaccine comes into full effect 2 weeks after the second dose.
Okay, not even the first dose.
First dose gives you some protection after 4 weeks.
Okay.
So this is exactly what would have happened, but nobody wants to say that because they're like, no, I maintained distance. I'm like, hey, this is what you would have done. Then quietly they'll be like, yeah, I met some friends. That's what happened. You cannot get COVID from the vaccine. You can get COVID after the vaccine if the immunity has not developed yet.
Okay. And you have not followed the protocols.
See, when someone falls sick, it's hard to say you deserve it. It's not. Nobody deserves it. So I don't like to say I told you so.
Okay. So there are many of them who are saying they just love the way you're explaining things. Yeah. Kanmini says, you're cool, doctor. You're making it so easy to listen to you. I completely agree with you. See, I'm laughing. I mean, we're talking about COVID and it's like, we hardly laugh. We get so serious about it.
Me too. I mean, before we had this live, I was telling you this horrible scenario, but what to do? What to do? There is, life goes on. Not in the cold way, but this. So I always equate it to kids in a refugee camp. They laugh, they play. We are like that, but with a lot more basic luxuries, but fear of stepping out. Life goes on. We have to try to do our best.
Why is the side effect of vaccine different for different people, especially if a person does not get any side effect? Does it mean that the immunity is better or vaccine isn't working? Is there any reason for it?
Okay, Gurgaon moms, all of you have taken your babies for vaccination. If you have more than one child, you will know each of them reacts to each vaccine differently. You will be prepared with your crocin, you will be prepared with the ice pack, water, warm water, everything. But one baby will cry for 2 days. One baby will behave like nothing happened. It's the same way with us.
Okay. So Anshu Bhatia wants to know, my mother just got her first vaccine due to her medical condition. She is a cancer patient and due for a PET scan at the hospital in 10 days. Any extra precautions that we can take during the day of the scan?
She has to be double masked the entire time she is in the scan facility, as uncomfortable as it might be.
Swati Kumar wants to know, I have come across various news of deaths even after vaccination was taken. It raises my concern on the efficacy of the vaccination.
See, I absolutely agree. I'm sure you all know Dr. K.K. Agarwal.
Yes.
He passed away. He was a wonderful friend and well-wisher and sweetheart.
I saw his Facebook Live today before coming to the session. I was watching that in particular.
He is such a wonderful person. I mean, nobody deserves to go, but he was someone who spent a lot of time talking about the importance of vaccination. He was vaccinated both times. He should have been protected. Ideally, the vaccine gives you protection from severe disease, but everything has a failure rate. Everything has a failure rate. He just happens to be one of them. We will hear more deaths post-vaccination because in India, we have 130 crore people. We have 19 crore people that have had at least one shot. So by sheer statistics, we'll see a lot of numbers who die after the vaccination. But imagine that group without vaccination. Now with this second wave, a lot more younger people are getting infected. One of the main reasons I think is the older people have somehow had at least one vaccine, one shot of the vaccine. So it gives them some protection. The younger people haven't had it yet. So the vaccine will give you protection from the worst to the best of its ability. But like I said, everything has a failure rate.
Small percentage.
Yeah.
Uma Nathani's question. My 8-year-old daughter wants to go down to play. Kids her age often don't follow mask rules and distancing is impossible. Due to obesity and other hormonal reasons, I have to let her to do physical exercises. What should be the way forward?
Very difficult, Uma Nathani. It's very difficult. I don't have a simple answer for you. Yes, kids don't. Adults barely wear a mask. You can't blame the kids. Yeah, if she needs to go out and play, she needs to go out and play. Maybe you can join her. I know you might not be the coolest person she wants to hang out with, but she'll realize that a few years from now. Maybe you should go play with her. You would be the safest person for her to play with.
Yeah, this is more, as we get this news on third wave and children getting more affected. So what are your thoughts and advice, doctor?
The same way younger people are getting affected, children will get affected in the next wave. Because they won't have a vaccine yet. It's not been tested on them. Once we get safety and testing, we're all going to be in line saying, jab my baby, because we want our babies to be alive and well. So that's why it's so important that everybody right now gets vaccinated. So see, it's not going to matter whether you are fully vaccinated for me living in Chennai. It matters that everybody I hang out with in Chennai is vaccinated so my children can be safe. So all that matters is you and everybody around your children are vaccinated so that your children can have a safe place to play in.
So even after the second dose of vaccination, which is complete vaccinated, so can we start meeting, but again we have to follow the COVID appropriate behavior, right?
So currently the US recommendation is to meet in indoor spaces. Everybody in that group must be fully vaccinated with one unvaccinated low risk person. This is such a complicated explanation that I'm like, no, don't meet.
That is
if you're meeting, meet in outdoor spaces. I live in Chennai. There is no outdoor space. They've closed the beach, so so I don't meet anybody. I don't even know how to talk to person in person right now.
Okay. So after taking the first vaccination, if a person gets COVID, so when will he or she can go for the second dose?
3 months after when they test positive. Same rules apply. Thank you, Dr. Prabha Singh. That's a nice feedback. You also must be getting angry.
Yeah. So Aparna Arora again writes, my 9-year-old boy has recovered from all B cell last year. I don't know what it means. Is he still considered immunosuppressed? Is vaccine safe when it goes live for age group 2 to 18?
Aparna, that would have been a very tough time for you. I can't even imagine. Yes, he is considered immunosuppressed. So we have to wait. Everybody around you has to be vaccinated to protect your little baby.
Manisha Lokesh says, I heard some of people around saying that we have taken Covishield and will go for Covaxin after again 6 or 9 months. Is this safe and fine to take all types of vaccines?
Would you get medical? This is like sort of going to the pharmacist and saying, give me medicine for this infection. It makes no sense. There are clearly laid out medical guidelines. I don't know why people are doing this. It's just really dumb.
Dr.
To answer, there is no data to say what can happen if you take another vaccine after 6 months, another vaccine after 8 months. If you need to be revaccinated, the government will come up with guidelines. Wait for it. Please don't be jabbing yourself like crazy.
Okay. Another scenario is, doctor, you said, after one vaccine, now there is a period that is a wait period that is suggested is 12 weeks.
Or after Covishield, yes.
After Covishield, and different for Covaxin. Now, in case somebody wants to travel, it's an emergency. They have to go outside India. There are many countries who say that you have to be fully vaccinated. In that case, is there any other option where they can take the second dose, or they have to follow the given period?
See, this is India. There is always shortcuts.
But is it safe?
You can take it anytime after 4 weeks. After 4 weeks, it's safe. Safety is not the issue at all. You can take it.
Okay.
You can't take it before 4 weeks. You can take it after 4 weeks.
Okay. Are there any tests recommended for COVID recovered patients before taking the vaccination?
None.
Okay. Astuti wants to know, diabetic patients whose sugar level is high, what's the right way of treating them, as many steroids seem to increase sugar levels?
Steroids are a fantastic class of drugs, but they need to be administered under medical care with careful supervision. So asking me this question will not get you a clear answer, because I don't know. I don't know what medication your family member might be on, what kind of steroid they might be given. Yes, steroids can absolutely save lives, but they have to be carefully monitored. So it can increase your sugar levels. That's why it's given in a hospital situation, not to buy from your pharmacist. Or do not give your prescription to someone else saying, I also had, this is the prescription the doctor gave. I think Dr. Prabha Singh will agree with me on this as well.
Doctor, another thing is that what is your advice for pregnant women when they go for, visits every month for their checkups? What are some of the precautions that they have to take? And second thing is, we see repeated queries on how to select a hospital for delivery. So what are the protocols that they have to look for?
So I'll also answer about vaccinating pregnant mothers here. Yes. And I will tell you my experience when it came to delivery. Okay, as of now, none of the vaccines in India have been approved for pregnant women. So pregnant women have to be extremely careful. Regarding the, what was the first question?
What are the protocols they have to take when they go for their
exactly like what I told somebody who's going for a PET scan, I think Anshu's mother. Yes. You have to wear a double mask. No compromise there. If you are thirsty, walk out to the hospital, to the road, drink water and go back into the hospital. It is not worth lifting that mask to even take a sip of water while you're waiting for an appointment. A lot of doctors are spacing out their appointments, so there's not a lot of crowding that takes place. Regarding how to choose a hospital, see, you've already chosen a doctor. Talk to them. You're like, what will you do if I test COVID positive right before my delivery? What are you going to say? What will you do? If I test positive, will you deliver or where will you deliver? What is the problem? Speak to your doctor. My doctor was very clear. She's like, whether you have COVID or not, I'm going to deliver you here. So I was very confident and went. That's all.
Okay, so you go with the doctors.
You
discuss with her.
absolutely, you deserve to have full clarity on what will happen if you turn COVID positive around the time of delivery. Whether the doctor will accept you for practice, whether the facility is there in that hospital, you don't want to be in the last minute where the doctor will be like, I can't deliver you, you figure it out. Very few doctors do that, and that's unfortunate. My doctor did.
Okay. And is there any, specific things that they have to look for in the hospital? Like you said, they should be able to handle a COVID positive patient.
Yeah.
In
So
case,
speak to your doctor. Speak to your doctor, because you have to. If you're COVID positive, what happens after delivery? You develop complications. What will they do? Will they transfer you? My doctor, if I asked her, she's like, Pavitra, if you get it, we'll see. Relax. Is all my doctor said. But I was so confident in her ability, I didn't think any more about it.
Ekta wants to know that she says, my D-dimer was high. I was put on blood thinner. How long is it supposed to be taken?
Hi, Ekta, what does your prescription say? Your prescription will say exactly how many number of days you should be taking it. If it is not said so, contact your doctor again and find out.
There are a couple of them who wants to know, is there a need to get an antibody test post the second dose of vaccination?
You can. It brings a lot of business to my lab that way, but it doesn't mean anything. See, it's a wormhole. Okay. Then you're going into, oh, but this month I had so much antibody. Next month, how much antibody do I have? Don't do it. It's just not worth it.
Okay.
But continue to follow a lot of safety protocols until everybody around you is vaccinated.
Uma Nathani again wants to ask you another question. My maid who was COVID positive 25 days back is coming back from village using bus. Is it safe to let her in my house directly by making her bath once she is in, or do I ask her to stay somewhere locally for 4 days and get tested again?
That's up to you. See, the thing is, if she's coming back from having COVID, the chance of her bringing COVID to your house is low at this point.
Okay.
Even
Even in the bus, she may not get infected.
See, she's just coming back from having had COVID at 25 days, but she's not going to bring back COVID for sure.
Okay. Momita asks, is it okay to go out for a walk inside the condominium with very few people around? If yes, does a single mask serve the purpose, since a brisk walk with double mask can be uncomfortable?
I totally understand. Yes. No chatting and talking to anybody, no walking beside anybody. As long as you can consistently maintain at least, like I said, 10-foot gap between you and that other person, you can go. Otherwise, it's worth wearing that double masking and walking a little slower.
Okay. Archana Sethi wants to know, I have extreme food allergy, especially eggs, and also severe dermatitis. Can I take the vaccine? So
Archana, I think you're asking this because if you are allergic to eggs, you can't take the flu vaccine. None of the vaccines in India have anything to do with eggs. They're not made using any of the parts of the egg or grown in eggs or anything like that. As for severe dermatitis, I'm sure you have a doctor. Speak to them before you take the vaccine.
Another person has asked about urticaria, doctor. So for
any allergy, you can, no problem.
Acha, it does not cause any allergy. Okay. So that brings to the end of this session, doctor. It was so fast that I didn't realize that I am exhausted with all the questions.
Okay. So we have another 5 minutes if anybody wants to ask any questions.
Yeah, and you can also give us some advice, for new moms, for pregnant moms. There is a lot of stress that they are undergoing, and we see repeated posts from them that, I am pregnant, what will happen? Will I be able to safely deliver? So again, if you can repeat those, it will be great for them.
See, for the first wave, during the lull is when I delivered my second baby. I was worried about being in the hospital. I still wore the mask there the entire time, but my baby couldn't be given a mask. You should not mask anybody less than 2 years old. New mothers, please don't mask your baby when you go to the doctor's appointment. When you do not delay any of their vaccination schedules. I was also very worried when I spoke to my pediatrician. She's like, Pavi, you're trying to stop one infection, but putting your kid at risk to multiple infections. How does it make sense? I was like, yeah, correct, doctor. I'm afraid to wait in your office. She's like, what's your problem? Let your husband come into my thing and wait for the turn. You come when it's time for your baby, take the baby out, let your husband pay the fees and come out. So the amount of my husband is going to be fully masked. I'm going to be masked. It's just the time of taking the baby to the doctor and coming right back out. That time, the chance of you getting that infection is very, very low. And doctors are spacing out their infections and doing a lot of teleconsultation. A lot of teleconsultation. So take up those if you are worried about anything else, but for a vaccine, don't postpone it. See, if you're pregnant, it's not supposed to be, it is a beautiful, special time in your life. You will have to go through this without any of the special celebrations that one would have if we didn't have a pandemic. But trust me, by not having this, you're saving your life. Don't engage, not even a small function, just 4 people, not worth it. Just before the live started, I was talking to Neela and Shubha. I heard some terrible news today about somebody who passed away because all she had was a god barai, and she died. 8 months pregnant. It's unimaginable. I can't speak of it without tearing up. So be safe. That's your first and only priority here. Yes, maternity photo shoots are waiting, but you can do all of them with your baby once you're alive. You being alive is the most important. Don't put your life at risk. Nothing is worth it. So while you might feel like you're missing out, just think of it as, well, this is my experience that I will be able to tell my children about. When I was carrying you, there was a pandemic and we couldn't go out. So it'll just become a story. You want to be there to tell that story.
Great, doctor. The other thing, common question that keeps coming is, if I have been exposed to a COVID infected person, if I've been in touch with them, how long should one isolate?
5 days minimum. If you have no symptoms, you isolate for 5 days. If you develop symptoms, test immediately and go to a doctor. I don't know how it works in Gurgaon. In Chennai, if you get tested, it immediately gets notified to the Chennai Corporation, and there is a lot of stigma attached to it. A friend of mine, she runs a hospital that takes care of moderate cases of people with COVID. The whole family came and said, naanga medical shop la poite, we got these medications that we saw online and we're taking it, we're fine. The father has been admitted in her hospital, but the mother and the son is some 20 odd something. His chest and lung involvement is 75%. He might not survive.
Oh God.
Because they were afraid that the corporation would come and stick a notice. This is not the time to be afraid of stigma. Yeah, people around, you will know who your friends are at times like this. If your neighbor says, oh my God, you have COVID, get out of this building, ask the neighbor to get out. You deserve kindness, you deserve help. The good people around you will help. So, and one important thing, everything is considered COVID until proven otherwise. If you have a cough, it's COVID. If you have a cold, it's COVID. If you have a fever, it's COVID. If it is not, you take the test to figure out whether it's, then rule out that it's COVID. Don't take a risk saying, maybe it's because I took that ice cream. It's not worth that risk.
Shruti Dev says, we know many volunteers helping family and friends and getting exposed. Should they completely isolate themselves?
See, this is a good question. They are doing such wonderful work helping families and friends. I hope, are taking the fullest levels of care when they go to help these people. That's all I can say. It's easy to isolate. I haven't helped out a single soul physically because I have parents who are old. My children are not vaccinated. My way of helping is talking to you guys. So this is how I protect myself. The volunteers that go and do stuff should protect themselves by double masking and not allow their discipline to drop.
Shikhar Dogra Kataria asks, can a COVID negative person sanitize and clean room of a COVID positive recovered person? What are the precautions to be taken?
Mask, distancing, masking and cleaning your hands afterwards.
That's it.
Yeah,
All
there's no,
sounds so simple with you, doctor.
no, there is no specific magic answer. The basics work. The basics work. You wear the mask and then you clean and then you go wash whatever you need to wash and keep your hands clean. Then you take off your mask, change your mask. That's it.
Okay. Archana Sethi asks, my daughter had low-grade fever, 99.5 since 4 weeks. COVID test negative twice. Oxygen is okay. Now she has low BP last 2 to 3 days. Online doctor says to go for D-dimer HRCT scan. Different theories. Another one says no need. CBSE has low HP. Is CRP D-dimer CT scan required?
Archana, you are doctor shopping. It's not something that I would appreciate at all. I'm not blaming you this. You want to do the best for your baby. Pick a doctor, trust that doctor and follow what they're saying. Because no, whatever you might think the doctor is doing for the money, but the doctor cares about you. You follow what the doctor says. Go back and tell that doctor, this is working, this is not. The doctor will change. Don't change doctors in the middle of a process unless something catastrophic is happening. And trust me, your mother's instinct will kick into play before all that. When you pick a doctor, make all the research that you need to do. Talk to them, get comfortable with them so that you trust them. They do care about you and your baby. Don't switch doctors during a protocol. Don't doctor shop.
Jyoti Thakur says, I got corona 1 month back, but still I am having thought irritation sometimes. I've also heard about anxiety attacks, doctor. So can you give some advice?
Is it, we don't know whether it is because of COVID infection or if it is because of everything that's happening around us. Mental health is one of the lowest right now in the world. I have friends who have mental health organizations. They're like, my own therapist has her own therapist. It's like that. So it's just how it is. If you need to speak to a counselor, speak to a counselor.
But I think, it is also the fear that is adding to it for many COVID patients.
Yeah, it is.
After that, whether I've fully recovered. And now the black fungus. So I know some of my friends who have got some sinus pain and they get worried that is it black fungus?
Get checked. Get checked. That's the only way to eliminate fears. I send my children to my parents' house during the day so I can get some work done. My father had a sore throat. I'm like, sorry, unless you take a RT-PCR, I will not send them back. My mother is like, I need to see my grandkids. Go take the test. It came negative. He's like, see, it came negative. I'm like, you still have symptoms? Go take a chest CT. He's like, it's so expensive. Like, that's the cost of your ice cream, really.
Okay. Thank you so much for this fabulous session, doctor. We have come to the end of this session. It was a pleasure to have you, and you gave us lots of hope. You cleared many doubts. I just feel that COVID is like, if we follow the right protocols, we can definitely be safe and healthy. To all the viewers, thank you so much for joining us. We have 2 more Facebook Lives coming up in a couple of days. Tomorrow, 5 p.m., we have one on domestic violence. And on Monday at 11 a.m., we have a Facebook Live session on children and mental health with Dr. Amit Sen. Both the topics are another important ones during this epidemic. Do join us and follow Gurgaon Mom's Facebook page for all the updates. Thank you so much, Dr. Pavitra. It was fabulous talking to you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.